assume this. Oops. Keep that heart wide open in the unknown, because that's what's going on right now. You're in the unknown, you're in new territory, and this is like stabilizing in a new frequency, more energy. And the first message that I'm feeling is this: remembering to apply the past kind of lessons that you've already learned. We're just jumping straight into it because it's so funny. Once I start talking, things just come. It's so interesting. And I'm experimenting with this, and this is my unknown. This is my new kind of frequency or beginning or whatever. Like, there's so many ways you could put this. And it's different, you know, for every person it's different, but the same feeling. It's like, think about a time, for example, you thought like it couldn't get better, like it wouldn't ever get better, but it did, right? That was a temporary place, a temporary state. And why I bring that up is because there might be this feeling of like resisting the new, in a sense that you feel like you're unable to hold a new frequency, but the frequency's already here, the energy's already here, the new is already here. It's not about you having to hold it or having to try to control it like you have in the past. It's about applying the wisdom that you have, like the knowledge that you have, being objective and not letting those emotions control the situation. And that brings me to, like, that reminds me, when I think about emotions, like for me, it's about balance in your hormones, balance in your lifestyle. So like your hormones are affected by so many things, and I'm not gonna like lecture you on that, but that's coming through. I feel like that's significant because like feeling in the sway of emotions, meaning not in control of like what you're able to do, is not a good feeling. And that's literally why I started teaching yoga, and you know, because it changed my life. Like that changed my life, like being able to like having the tools to tap into your body and feel, like truly feel as if this body is a temple and not a prison, is like so important, especially if you have gifts, like you're sensitive and all this. But besides the point, that's kind of like a side message, but there's something here about emotions that if you're feeling like old stories or old energies or even just emotional patterns rise, first of all, let them. Second of all, the work, when they do arise, isn't to like, or I guess the reminder is, first of all, keep your heart open as best you can. Keep the heart open. That comes back to shifting your perspective, your attitude, your mindset, like your frame of reference as well, and seeing the good, right? Returning to innocence. Noticing the synchronicities so that that heart can continue to be open, because the synchronicities, the alignments that you are feeling, noticing, experiencing, these are miracles. This is like, that is the magic of life. And so as we're being kind of objective and discerning, and you know, you're needing to apply this like sort of maturity as you expand, there's another message at the same time. This feels very divine feminine, by the way. I was picking that up and I'm just feeling it again at this moment, like very divine feminine. But it's like this upgrade. It feels like an upgrade. I like that word that just came through. And yes, and it's about applying, right? So keeping that discernment, but not losing that like levity. Is that the word? Levity? Like joy and like innocence, but at the same time, as you have that joy, that innocence, that childlike wonder, like noticing the magic, but it's also grounded in this like maturity of your feminine energy. Okay, so there's a lot of like energy dynamics I feel like going on within you right now. There's a whole integration. That's what's happening. You're integrating. Okay, the past lessons that we were mentioning to like bring. So like when these things arise, if they're emotions, if they're patterns, if they're thoughts, if they're like behaviors that you've learned, like because you taught yourself these behaviors from an old frequency or an old identity, right? But you're still doing the same actions. It's not like necessarily we're changing everything we do, but it's about how we do it. And so if you are noticing these old things coming up, or these things that maybe aren't old, but now they're starting to feel unaligned, it's like we now have the tools to transmute that energy in the moment. You're like, okay, I feel like this wave of just like you're on the edge of the moment, like moment by moment, things are changing and shifting. Like you're noticing manifestations every moment. Wow, I just 606. Okay, 6, balance. 0, it's like there's like this, exactly, you're right at the edge, like you're in the moment, present moment. That's the 0. And then 6 is about balance. It's okay, integration, 6 on each side, and that gives me divine feminine, divine masculine. I hope you're keeping up. I feel like if you're finding this, if this is finding you, you can keep up with this kind of language I'm talking, hopefully. But what I'm saying, to condense it and to kind of slow down a bit, is it's about balance right now. And you're in that flow of that present moment. And you might not even know all of this that I have, just kind of like threaded. I don't know the words, but you might not understand what's going on beneath the surface, but this is what's happening. You're literally integrating. You're integrating and bringing every valuable, like golden nugget of wisdom and thread of your being into the moment to moment actions that you're taking. Like you're literally, you're applying those lessons, integrating them, and then it becomes wisdom. Like you're becoming like wise, okay? Like actually this is giving me the energy of like a teacher maybe, or like, if that doesn't resonate, like, I don't know, something like this though, where like you have value. Well, of course you have value, of course. In case you needed that reminder, we all have value, but of course you have value, everyone does. But you know, it's like you're aware of it. And it's like a process as well of this individuation. Okay, there's a reason why I said that, because I feel like there's something about self-confidence here and self-belief, or like self-trust, and like just the relationship with yourself, like being able to trust yourself, and how important that is. And building confidence in the way that we're taking action. Remember, it's about the how. Like you might be doing the same or similar things, but it's like how we do things really informs us and others. But this is about us right now, right? Like it informs you on a very subtle level of who you are and like what kind of person you are, right? So it's like, okay, this is kind of a cliche, but like, who are you when no one's, around? Where that kind of cliche, that kind of question though, is to help you see, and to help us see where our masks are, so that they're not there anymore. Because I feel like the life that you are aligning to, which is aligned with your like highest self, or like, I don't want to say your highest self, because we're always in that energy, but it's like your true potential, or like your wholeness, okay, your happiness. And it's not like it's not here, it's just growing. That capacity and that frequency is expanding. And also another way to say that is that you're just becoming more and more available to the immensity of you. Like that's always here. That's why I was like, yeah, I don't want to call it your highest self, because you are your highest self. Like I think that is the truth. However, I forgot where I was going with that. And confidence. I forgot where I was going. It'll come back if it's important. But we were talking about maturing, balancing, confidence, trusting yourself. Oh, was it building confidence? Moment to moment action, how you do things. Oh, right, you're informing yourself of how you're doing things. Okay, this is what I was going to say. So when we decide to drop all those masks not because of any other reason other than we are just deciding, even when, no one's around or it doesn't, seem to have a consequence. It does. You're really aware that it does, and that you want to be your best self all the time, not because you're trying to be perfect, but because you understand perfect is an illusion. But you know somehow, subtly, intuitively, that there is a version of life and reality that you can experience that feels right, that feels like you, that is harmonious, right? Alignment with the 6 and the 0 and the 6. I'm looking now. Okay, 11. I mean, come on. Magic. Like synchronicities that feel like magic. And it's like taking the moment to feel that and to notice that, because that is where the magic happens, by the way, when we notice how it's like everywhere. But I still have not finished the thought. This might be manifesting because of something like in you about, okay, this is coming through about knowing what you want. And maybe you don't know exactly what you want and you're okay with that. It's not like this clear, clear-cut picture of like items or something like that, or like a list of achievements, but it's maybe there's like a direction. But I'm getting this feeling that like I kept getting distracted. I still haven't said it. I still haven't even completed the thought, but we're getting there. And it was like, I don't know if I like this hair, but it's fine. Oh my God, you see? This is distraction. Okay, it's fine. Okay. There is a version of life that exists for you, and you know it, where so much more of the things that you truly want, like that heart's desire, that your heart desires, and that but maybe they're unspoken desires, but you feel them, you know them, the frequencies of them are there, like you can sense them, they're real, they are yours already. Vocalize them. Oh my God. Use your voice to speak them out of your heart so that you can become conscious of them. That's going to be specific for someone. Use your voice to investigate, what are you really desiring? What is that heart really desiring? You can even ask it. Like close your eyes, even visualize, just like, you don't have to visualize, you can do whatever, but ask your heart, like, what you can visualize. I mean, why not? But I like to just keep it simple, because I know that some people, there's no reason for resistance in this moment. Keep the heart open in this unknown, okay? So if visualizing is not your thing, just don't worry about that. Let it go. Anyway. Voice. Use your voice. Speak into that heart space and from it. Even if it feels empty. It's not. It is, but it's not, okay? And if it feels that way, like, don't be afraid to just be with it anyways, and just ask a question to it and allow an answer to arise about what is it that this heart desires. Because this is the point of this moment for you. You are balanced. You are in alignment. You have done the work. Integration has occurred. It's occurring right now. Wholeness is like right now. And you're on that like fast track. I don't know why I'm saying that, fast track to wholeness right now. That's so silly. But it's like that. Because you are aware of something. And you know what? It's like the divine. You're aware of the divine. And the beautiful magic of all of this is that the more that we are aware of the divine, the more the divine is aware of us. Okay? That's why we want to keep that heart open in this unknown. That's why we are noticing the synchronicities and feeling them, appreciating them, feeling that we are loved and supported. That's what you're doing. And that is exactly why you just keep pulling it to you, the divine, because you are aware of it. the more that you're aware of it, the more it's aware of you. And the same thing goes for everything else, by the way. So trust that if you were to ask the question to your heart space, even if it's like, there's a reason that was coming through about, like, I had to clarify, don't worry about visualizing and if it's empty, because I resonate also, but also it's just, that could be something in your energy where you're like, oh, it's almost as if you wait for like something to appear for you to start doing the process of like, not doing the process, but you know, like that process of like refining your desire or your vision or whatever, which is good, it's fine, but I think this is it. This is the new thing, right? This is that newness, that new thing that I guess we didn't even really say because we weren't aware of it until now. Very divine feminine energy. Very much like you've got to be present in order to experience yourself in this divine feminine energy. You got to be present with yourself and with your, like, these things. And so what I was picking up is this energy of, this is new for you. To think or to see or to feel into what your heart really desires in an intentional way, where you feel like you're not just surrendered to the divine, you're also not, you know, it's not like a disempowerment where you feel like you're at the mercy of like some external thing or like you're waiting for, you know, it's none of that. Like, I feel like you've moved beyond that, but this is still new because it was like you move beyond that into a place perhaps of surrender. And now it's like the integration that's happening is almost, has prepared you, by the way. You've been like prepared for this, which feels like you can trust yourself to make new choices, create new memories and experiences from a place of wholeness, of balance, because this is the present moment. You're in it now. This is zero. I just saw the 606 again in my mind's eye, and that's where you're at as well. And that means this is very fertile ground. Like this is a beautiful moment, and you have the tools to keep everything without the control, by the way, but to have that balance in your energy, in your energies, okay? All of them. Okay, so like I speak in like a yoga language, so I'm gonna use that, but like prana, like vital life force energy, like the breath, the subtle body, okay? And the way that balances the hormones, the endocrine system, like everything gets balanced through our prana, through our breath. So breath work, pranayama, is definitely important for you. It's coming through very strongly. Meditation, you have these tools, right? Movement, maybe you do yoga practice, maybe you dance, maybe you do something else. And fire energy, and like being aware of our digestion, and I mean food, and like all these things can contribute to our, of course we know this, right? Like they contribute to our emotions and our balance and our just being regulated. I said I wasn't going to lecture, but that's my life. I mean, I'm so into this kind of thing, so it's not really a lecture, it's just, you know it, and if you don't know the like everything, whatever, it doesn't matter. Point is, there's balance, you know, you have the tools, you know how to stay in that flow and that alignment, and you also know when you step out of alignment or when there's like something's off, like you have this like keen like discernment, sharp sword, and you're able to cut off, in the sense, not cut off, like, you know what I'm saying, like that discernment, that sharp sword, is that you're able to stop whatever's misalignment and come back into alignment. This is so beautiful. This is like maturity, this is integration, this is an up-leveling. And so if it feels like difficult, it might for a minute because it's new and we're making new choices from a new place of being, like a new state of being, a new level of consciousness, of awareness, of wholeness. And I feel like we're kind of repeating ourselves, but there is this kind of final message that wants to be shared about trusting yourself, your confidence, your originality, your uniqueness, because that is what's going to be important when you make your new choices, when you set your new intentions, when you really allow yourself to see more of like those heart's desires. Like when that starts coming through for you, trust your uniqueness. You're unique for a reason, and you're original, and you're like, you know, like the sun, like the light, like you have it in you. We all do. And just that gentle reminder to like balance the innocence, the play with the spiritual discernment, like the discipline, and also like balancing the masculine and the feminine energy in you, with being able to continue to take the action in a way that feels aligned, where you're not sacrificing anything, because you don't have to. You don't have to sacrifice peace, you don't have to sacrifice anything, and you do not need to live in stress. That's what this comes down to. This is you being able to create from a place that feels like you're not a victim to the past or to stories, or a prisoner to the past and their stories or emotions or the body. You've learned the tool of like mindfulness or meditation or like taking care of yourself, to where these things can come up and you know better than to believe them or to allow them to like control you. They don't. And I think that when we're really at the edge, it's not only as like we're there, we're at the edge. It's already kind of scary. Scary is a silly word, you know, but it's like, it's almost as if the fear is there, but you're not afraid. And you just needed that reminder. That's what this message is. The fear is there, maybe perhaps because you're at that edge of like the new beginning, of the new life, of the new actions, of the new choices. I really don't like my outfit right now. And there's these distractions, and there's these like silly things that are just not, they're inconsequential to everything. And the work is just to stay as present as you can without control, accepting, so that they don't turn into like, so you don't become solid like into the past. I could have stopped and said, I don't like this outfit, I don't like my hair, I don't like this or that, and then try to be perfect and come back. Like, so stupid when I think about it, when I see that, when I start to just see that, right, and give value to this moment instead. And like we said, when you give your attention to the divine gives its attention to you. And this moment is the divine. You're there. This is it. And so it's kind of hard to put into words, but I hope that makes sense, where it feels like, you know, it's almost like it's more tempting to follow the mind or follow the past or follow the old things that might come up, even though there's like not really a charge. There's not really the charge. It's just like this remnant fear. But like we said, you're not afraid of it. And so just remember that this is your reminder. But it's like you have to remind yourself. By how, right? How do you do that? By feeling in the moment, okay, we started this by saying keep your heart open in the unknown. This is what it means. Do not be afraid of anything that you experience right now, because you will find in that bravery to be present, because it does require you to be brave, to be courageous. When it's so tempting, so easy to fall back into the past, meaning the patterns, to be brave, to be just open to it. That means you're not pushing away what you feel. And that means that you're able to then discern with that sharp sword of your discernment, which is yours. Like no one can take that away from you besides you, right? You get to use it. And that is the cutting through the old and also the rebirthing of the new, because it's like you're making a new choice by not being prisoner to the fear, but by seeing it, or whatever the emotion is. If it's not fear, if it's something else like low vibrational, it's like it doesn't have a charge, and you have to be the one to experience that in the moments. That is the integration. That is the present moment that you are existing in right now, and it is temporary. We said that, I think, at the beginning too, that, you know, it's whatever it is, it's temporary. Like, so keeping that energy high by appreciating, feeling gratitude of the like synchronistic magic that is around you, grounding it in with that discernment and that objectivity, you know, being able to witness, to have space in your being, and also to have the wisdom, or at least the maturity, to accept your uniqueness, your learning style, your whatever it is, because that came through about the thing about using your voice to talk to your heart. Do that. Do it. Or something else. But do that, perhaps. I mean, moving forward. And not losing the playfulness, the innocence, the childlike energy with this kind of like other energy that feels a little bit more fierce. I don't know, like feminine. Like you know what you want. It's like you're ready now to really be in that energy. And it comes by itself as you get curious, face this moment. You're like so strong. Because what I just did, like what just came through me was like, whoa. Like, you are very strong. I can't even really put it into words as I'm reflecting, because that's just a lot. But it doesn't feel like a lot to you, does it? It doesn't, because you're just like that kind of person, like that kind of energy. Like, I feel like you know when it comes to these desires, like you really know on a very deep level, like they're big. There's something, when I say desire, it's like, it's so much bigger than you. And that's almost feeling like why. That's like why you keep going, which is so cool, because, you know, and I feel like the surrendered state that we were talking about came through, or, you know, was so your way of being, because what else to do? It feels so big. It's like almost silly to try to use your own words, or your, you know, that's how the feeling that I'm picking up. Like, how am I going to be the one to like define this or make this make sense, or like I'm just going to let the divine do it, or, you know, let the universe reveal to me. You know, that's like kind of been the narrative. But okay, that's why this is manifesting through me to you, because you may not realize like you are so ready to be the one to make that thing, like not even make that thing, but just like to define that, or to give that something, give that the charge, give that heart's desire, like you're like seeding it down into the earth. Oh my goodness. And I don't think, of course you're not like you alone, but it doesn't, and you know that, I don't have to say that. That's kind of just came through out of a defense, so we don't need to be defensive, it's fine. I think overall it's about trusting yourself to do that, not to do this, trusting yourself to be, you know, it's like co-creating, collaboration with the divine now, which you've been doing, but now it's like, use something about your voice, use your voice. Okay, this is coming back to originality. I'm getting that word. And I'm literally seeing the planet Uranus and Neptune a little bit, but more Uranus. And I feel like it's just like Aquarius also energy, like there's some like sort of like electricity. There's some sort of like that, like it's very originalness. What those words were. And that's your like, oh my goodness, cosmic, celestial, like self. I don't know how to word these feelings that are coming through, but it feels like there's this expansive vastness that you are, And you can tune into these realms or these energies or these feelings that feel like so different. You can trust it. And you might find that it's not so different. It might be like, in and of itself, another journey. Okay, so just keep that heart open, because it's still like, you might think it's okay. If there's anything here about, we're gonna wrap it up, it's already 30 minutes, but if there's anything here about like the feeling of like, well, I don't want to be responsible for this thing or whatever, it's not about that. Like if there's something here about, just know that you're still working with the divine is still working with you. So long as you're in this energy of this integration, this balance, and noticing these gifts, these moments of alignment, and recognizing it to be divine, and seeing the magic in your life, and continuing to stay grounded and stabilizing in this higher frequency, like this stuff you're already doing. And now when you're being asked to kind of like, by your higher self, by your inner self, to no, you're no longer waiting. And if you find yourself waiting, that's a moment to make a new choice. You're in the present moment every moment. And that mindfulness to shape in the moment, that's really what it comes down to. So don't worry about that energy of like, you're afraid to become a solid thing or shape. You won't. Don't worry. It's going to happen in such an organic, divine way. You can trust that. And I think you know that. And I think this is just like coming from some very deep part of you that you hadn't been able to voice yet. And I promise you, if you were to sit down, and you will, I know you will, because I can feel that, you do this work. You do the work. And so when you sit down to do this and really have a, meditate or whatever you do, you're going to have so much clarity just come through, and insight come through about everything about this moment, about this, life, about the future, about the desires in your heart, and about like integration. Everything will just come together quite beautifully. That feels really, really good. Really beautiful place to end it as well. Because I don't think there's anything else that wants to be said. Not that I can feel that I haven't said already. Just reiterating faith, which I don't think I said, but faith, confidence, love, trust, and spaciousness. Yeah, really nice energy. I feel so light right now. I feel empty in a really good way. I feel like that was a lot. As I was reflecting, right, I was like, holy shit, like there was a lot there. But at the same time, it doesn't feel like that at all. So thank God for you, honestly. Brilliant, beautiful soul. I'm sending you lots of love and light, and yeah.